going live right now is because I just got home. Thought I would check out any news or anything like that that has happened to come on while I've been doing my thing today. And I don't have but about 30 minutes, so I thought I would see what's going on. So, turn my phone on, and I use an app called Newsbreak, and it can show you local news, worldwide news, anything like that. And you can set your features and set what kind of news reports you want to hear about and put them on your notifications. It's really a great news source for people to use. So this is what I found. Brian Laundrie was under surveillance before he disappeared, police say. And as you can tell, that is a CNN report, and if it's hard to see, I'm sorry, posted 7 hours ago. And it is 2:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 7 hours ago was about a quarter to 9 or a quarter to 8 this morning. All right, so this is what it says. Police in Northport, Florida were surveilling Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito's fiance, as best they could legally before he vanished. Police spokesperson Josh Taylor told CNN's Randy Kay on Thursday. Okay, so they were surveilling Brian? So does that mean they saw him before he disappeared? And if that's the case, why haven't they said something before now? Okay. Laundrie had returned alone to his family's Northport home September 1st, following a trip the two were taking across the American West. Okay, we know that. Petito's parents, unable to make contact with either her or Laundrie, reported her missing 10 days later. Roughly 2 weeks after his return, Laundrie disappeared, his parents told police. CNN also learned that authorities never spoke with Laundrie before he went missing, even though they had eyes on him. When police went to the Northport home September 11th, he was not seen and there was no opportunity to speak with him, Taylor told CNN. On September the 19th, Petito's remains were recovered in Wyoming, near where the couple had last been seen together, and a coroner determined she died by homicide, the FBI said. Laundrie has not been charged in her death, though he is the subject of a federal arrest warrant for unauthorized use of another person's debit card in the days after Petito last spoke with her family. Authorities do not have the phone Laundrie had with him on the couple's trip, nor do they have Petito's phone. Neither phone was in Petito's van, which Laundrie drove back to Florida, Taylor told CNN. As the search continues for Laundrie in a sprawling Florida nature reserve, Taylor also confirmed investigators did not find a campsite during those efforts. That confirmation came after a source close to the Laundrie family told CNN's Chris Cuomo they were informed by investigators that police had made a discovery in Florida's Carlton Reserve. The source on Thursday insisted that the Laundrie family had been told a campsite had been found. Is it possible that they thought that there might be a campsite out there or something they might have seen from the air, but when they got on the ground, that's not what it turned out to be? Sure, I think that's a possibility, Taylor said. Bottom line is that investigators are telling me that no campsite was found out there. Okay, so why were they saying there was a campsite? My question is, why did they have Brian Laundrie's dad, Christopher Laundrie, out there to begin with during a manhunt of his son, knowing that he could be holding back viable information? This entire case is making no sense whatsoever. Also on Thursday, Laundrie's father, Chris Laundrie, visited the reserve, a 24,565-acre wilderness near Laundrie's family home, for several hours to help in the search. Family attorney Steve Bertolino told CNN. The father showed police the trails and locations where he and Laundrie have hiked and frequented, Bertolino said. There were no discoveries, but the effort was helpful to all, Bertolino said. It seems the water in the preserve is receding and certain areas are more accessible to search. The entire Laundrie family is grateful for the hard work of the dedicated members of the law enforcement that have been searching the preserve for Brian over the last few weeks. Hopefully, Brian will be located soon. Law enforcement officials continue to search for Brian Laundrie in the Carlton Reserve in Venice, Florida. WFTS states. In recent years, investigators have uncovered new details about Laundrie's earlier moments at the reserve. Northport police confirmed that a notice was placed on an abandoned Ford Mustang belonging to the Laundrie family outside the, pardon my pronunciation of this because I do not think I'm going to, Myakahatchee Creek Environmental Park on September the 14th. The park acts as an entrance to Carlton Reserve. Bertolino, the family attorney, told CNN that upon further communication with the FBI, we now believe that the day Brian left to hike in the reserve was Monday, September the 13th. His parents had previously told authorities he had left on September the 14th, and we all know that if Cassie hadn't blowed the lid on the fact that Brian went for a flight on August the 17th and hadn't told some other things, we wouldn't have found out that Brian actually went to the preserve on the 13th instead of the 14th. I still think, and y'all probably do too, still think that there is more that we don't know. And it's going to keep coming out bit by bit. Chris Laundrie went to look for his son on the night of September the 13th when he didn't return from the park. Bertolino told CNN on Wednesday. Okay, so if you know your son is very fluent in the outdoors, you've actually been to this reserve with your son and hiked it with him, and he, had only been gone that day, so they say, why, go hunt for him? Or why not report him missing before they did? The next day, Brian's parents returned to the area to look for Brian and saw the citation on the car. The parents returned again the next day, September 15th, to retrieve the vehicle. My question once again, your son's out there. Why take the only form of transportation that he has to get back home? I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Therefore, I don't think Brian has ever been at the Carlton Reserve. I just don't think he has. The Laundries were basing the date Brian left on their recollection of certain events. Upon further communication with the FBI and confirmation of the Mustang being at the Laundrie residence on Wednesday, September 15th, we now believe the day Brian left to hike in the preserve was Monday, September 13th. CNN asked Bertolino whether Brian's parents believe he's in the reserve or another area. No, they don't believe he's in another area. They believe he's in the reserve, he said. I want to see him in a jail cell for the rest of his life. That's like a little quote. Right there, you see it? It doesn't say who said it, but it's just like a little quote. Petito's body was found about 5 to 10 minute walk from where her van was last seen near the entrance to the Grand Tetons on the border of Bridger-Teton National Forest, according to her mother, Nicole Schmidt, and stepfather, Jim Schmidt, during the second installment of an exclusive interview with the Dr. Phil show that aired Wednesday. All right, so let me ask you this. So, okay, well, I'm going to tell you this little story that I watched a video on YouTube. I cannot remember this woman's name for nothing. She is a psychic medium. I'm not sure if y'all believe in psychic mediums or not, but I surely do. And she was, telling us, how Gabby died, so to speak. And in her, you know, what do you call it, her psychic view of it, Gabby was killed in the water. That's why there have not been any evidence that's been able to be found. And to me, that makes sense, because if you're, you know, strangled in the water or whatever, or killed, so to speak, to a point, that's why they're not getting any fingerprints or anything like that, is because of the water. Okay. Now, whether they have found water in her lungs, I don't know, because they have not released any information whatsoever as far as her autopsy goes. Like, I don't even think the family has her remains. Like, they've not even been able to bury her, which, you know, is really unfortunate. Okay, so let's see what the rest of this is. Gabby's body was in a clearing and was just in front of the remnants of a fire ring. So a fire ring is, you know, where, you know, they build a campfire. You could see where the rocks had been moved to make the fire ring, he said. It's definitely not an area that was heavily trafficked. Jim Schmidt left a memorial and sunflowers at the site. So he is the one, Jim Schmidt, her stepfather, is the one that placed the cross in the rocks where they found her body. The Schmidts were joined by Gabby's father, Joe Petito, and his wife, Tara Petito, along with their attorney, Richard Stafford, for the interview with host Phil McGraw. Joe Petito said his wants Laundrie found alive so he could spend his life behind bars. I want to see him in a jail cell for the rest of his life, where he's an outdoorsman, being in that concrete cell, and he can't go see those trees and hug and smell the fresh air like that, Petito said. All right, so let me ask y'all this question. All right, so we also know that around the same time that the unfortunate events happened to Gabby, there was a newly wed same-sex couple, two women. Can't think of their names right off the top of my head. Now, they have said that the two murders are not linked. But as we all know, Moab Police Department goofed big time with Gabby's investigation. And I've heard a lot of people say, I mean, there's not been too much said about this newlywed couple, but from my understanding, there's a lot of people speculating that they have botched that murder investigation as well. What if Brian did have something to do with theirs as well as Gabby's? What if Brian did kill the married couple and Gabby saw it? Maybe he flew back to Florida to murder weapon. Nah, I'm not saying that's technically what happened. That's just my, just a theory. That's just like a big what if. But why? Why go fly all the way back to Florida for 6 days? I still think this married couple that's lost their lives, I think it has something to do with Gabby's. I don't know why I feel that way. I just have this gut feeling. It's like in my bones telling me that they both have something to do with each other. Like both of them have something to do with each other. Let's see what else we got here. It says, I want to look him in his eyes, Nicole Schmidt said. Bertolino declined to comment Wednesday on the Dr. Phil interview. In late September, Laundrie's parents released a statement through their attorney saying Chris and Roberta Laundrie do not know where Brian is. I call bullshit. I think they know exactly where he is, and I do not think it's in the Carlton Reserve. I don't think he's ever been there. I think when they had that camping trip back at the 6th of September, I think Brian Laundrie left from that location and went in the complete opposite direction of the Carlton Reserve. I think the parents went and dropped that Mustang off there and went back and got it a couple days later. Because like I said, your son's out there, or your son went out there. He's out there. Why would you go get the only means of transportation that he has to get back home? I'm just saying. Let's see what else. They are concerned about Brian and hope the FBI can locate him. The speculation by the public and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest on a warrant that was issued after Brian had already been missing for several days is just wrong. CNN's Randy Kai, Susan Chun, and Clifford Melissa Alonso, blah, 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 contributed to this report. Okay, it's just saying a bunch of people from CNN contributed to this report. And that's the end of it. In case you didn't hear the beginning of it, this is a article in the app called Newsbreak. It's a really good app, for, whether it's, local news you're looking for, or weather, or worldwide, or nationwide. It's a really good app. You ought to go check it out. You can probably, I don't know if it's in the Apple store, but I know it's definitely in Android. But this article was called, Brian Laundrie was under surveillance before he disappeared, police say. And in the article, they don't really say too much about that surveillance or anything. They just say they had eyes on him, but they never talked to him. So if they had eyes on him, how did he disappear is my question. If they had eyes on him, why didn't they know that he went camping back at the beginning of the month with his family? If they had eyes on him, why didn't they know that he went to the Carlton Reserve for 100%? I think they're just trying to cover their ass. I think they're full of shit. But, so that's the end of this live stream right now, guys. If I think of anything else, or if I want to run my mouth anymore, throw out my opinion about anything else, I'll come back and do another live stream. Y'all are more than welcome to state your opinions and theories in the comment section below. All that you want. All I ask is try to keep it clean and friendly. All right, guys. I love you so, so much. And I will be talking to y'all soon, I hope. Peace. Bye.